Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Real Women, Real Purpose talk show. I am here today with Ginny Robertson. Hi, Ginny.
Hey, Catherine. How exciting is this? I get to talk about myself today.
Oh, yay! I love it. So, welcome everyone. That we are live here in the On Purpose Woman Global Community. If you don't know me, I'm Catherine Yarbrough. I'm your host today. And when I'm not the host for the Real Women, Real Purpose talk show, our guest today, Ginny Robertson, is. I'm also a co-leader in the On Purpose Woman Global Community and the create. I am having a problem talking today, and the creator of the Manifesting Clients Academy. So today we're going to hear what Ginny Robertson has to say about why it matters that women are seen and heard. And I'm really looking forward to hearing what's going on with Ginny in her world. And if you don't know her, let me tell you, I've known her for 19 years, but here's some really cool things about her. Ginny Robertson supports women, and she has been supporting women for a long time, wherever they are in life, with opportunities for deep connections, more visibility, and to become comfortable playing a bigger role on the planet. Ginny is the founder of the On Purpose Woman Global Community and the founder and publisher of the On Purpose Woman magazine. And she used to have a radio show on WCBM in Baltimore. And in 2012, she was named one of Maryland's top 100 by the Daily Record, Maryland Business, Legal, and Government newspaper. So, woohoo, Ginny. Yeah.
How many more years can I milk that one? I don't know.
I say keep milking it. You go, Ginny. Absolutely. So, are you feeling excited about this interview today?
I'm very excited about this interview because, it's always a little more stressful to be on your end, I think. So this morning, I'm just like, oh, let me just relax into this interview. Catherine's in charge.
Oh, that's an interesting perspective. I love
Mhm.
it. Well, I'm happy to be in charge, and I want to just jump right in for you and for our listeners because we're here to find out about being seen and being heard. So, I want to talk about you to begin with. In all the different places and times in your life, Ginny, has there ever been a time when you were not seen and heard? And what was it like, if
Okay.
there was?
Yes, absolutely. I was a very precocious little girl, full of myself, always showing off and entertaining people. And there was a point around the age of 7 or 8 that my mother started disapproving of that. And so I think I shut a piece of that down and said, okay, I'm going to get in trouble. Let me be a good girl. Let me play by whatever the rules are. And probably for the next, I would say until my mid 30s, I never really showed up fully as me. I tell people I was the president of the thespians club in high school, but I didn't act. I wouldn't speak, like I wouldn't speak in public, on the stage or anything like that. But I was great at running stuff. So that seemed to be enough at that time. So I would be seen that way, but I wasn't the person to be like front and center. So yeah, yeah. And it
Yeah.
took a
So
lot. It took a lot to work through that.
yeah, that's a lot of years from
Mhm.
7 or 8 to your 30s, though some people stay not seen or heard through their entire life or feeling like they're not seen or heard.
Yeah.
So, what is that? What do you remember about that experience? Like, what does it feel like? What did it feel like within you to to stay behind the scenes, if you will?
Hmm. Well, that's a really great question. I don't think I've ever been asked that before. I don't think it bothered me like in high school because I liked high school. I was having fun. I didn't feel like I was missing anything. It was when I started my corporate career
Mm.
and I was in a very male dominated industry and I'd be in meetings and I would want to say things and I would feel like, oh, they're going to think I'm pushy or they're going to think I'm, too full of myself or they're not going to approve because there was this male kind of dominant male thing going on. And that would feel yucky. I would feel like I'd walk out there going, God, I wish I'd said that. Oh, geez, That was my idea. Why didn't I stand up for it? That sort of thing. So I remember feeling less than
Hmm.
and kind of not very proud of myself.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like I'd let myself down, I guess.
Yeah, because you didn't actually speak up. Because to be
Right. Right. Yeah.
seen and heard, we have to do it.
Nobody's going to do it for us.
Yeah, because that's important. It's
It is
interesting
important.
because being seen and be heard, it's like we've got to step up and speak up and let ourselves be seen. But there's this other side. We want other people to see us and hear us. We can't make them see us and hear us. But as you just said, nobody's going to do it for us in terms of us stepping up and speaking up.
Yeah. Because when I started to actually take a stand and speak up, even if I wasn't really agreed with or they didn't really do what I wanted them to do, I still didn't feel bad because I'd done it. So there's a big difference in not doing it and doing it and still not getting the results that I thought would be the best results. I still felt better than I would have if I hadn't done it at all, if that makes sense.
That really resonates for me. I'm guessing I'm not alone because if I don't speak up, then I let myself down.
Yeah.
And it feels really good to take that action. Even like if it's a Facebook Live or whatever, and one person watches it, it's better for, and I'm inspired to speak up. I feel better if I did it than if I held it all in.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a really good distinction. Then there's probably some skill about developing ourselves so that we are actually seen and heard more. That's Do you see that as different? Do you like there's
I
the
think,
actually the okay, speak about that.
yeah, I think there's a difference between just being seen and heard and being seen and heard with intention. Where I have to decide how do I want to be seen and heard? Because I could get up there and just scream and yell and be angry, and I'm still being seen and heard. But maybe not getting the results that or being seen in the best light I would want to be seen. And unless it was really, I mean, sometimes it's really appropriate to you do that, to be angry but it's not just about having a big voice, and so I think there's got to be some intention around it. And sometimes a bit of finesse, like, I learned to choose my battles carefully, that not everything deserved me taking a stand. Not everything was worthy of that. And don't use up all my capital, if you will. I'm still thinking of the corporate arena. Don't use all my capital, save it for something that really matters when I really need to be
Mm-hmm.
forceful and say, no, this is what we need to do, kind of thing. So I think there is a difference in starting to develop that. It's almost like a muscle that we have to practice. And it's easy to have it shut down again when somebody pushes back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't, and then go into regret, go into fear, go into shame. I
Mm-hmm.
felt shame for speaking up because somebody disapproved. When I started speaking up in my family as an adult woman, that wasn't always met with great applause. And I didn't always do it with great finesse. So I think it's a skill we have to learn. First, we have to get the courage, muster up the courage to actually open our mouths. And then we have to practice. And we'll mess up sometimes.
Oh, it's interesting. There's a little garble going on when you were just saying that. It's like we have to have the courage to open our mouths, and there was
No garble. We
yes,
need to practice. Yes.
yeah, and we need the internet to comply with our, to
Exactly.
go with.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you something else, bringing us to this moment. And I appreciate what you were saying about practice. Now, at this stage in your life, you've been speaking up since your 30s. You did it in corporate. You started your own business. You have been a speaker in front of hundreds of people. You've done done all kinds of things. You've run your own conferences, and obviously you have your networking community and you have the radio show and now this show. You're comfortable, but do you want now to be seen and heard more?
What, say that last sentence again?
Do Now, at this
Mhm.
moment in your life, do you want to be seen and heard more?
Yes, I do.
So
I
tell
do.
us what it feels like inside of you and why you want it.
Yeah. I think there's some really important things I still have to say. that I haven't said yet or haven't said to the people I want to say it to. There's some, I think women are needed now more than ever on the planet to take a stand, to use our voice. You know, you've probably heard this quote from the Dalai Lama: the world will be saved by the Western woman. And I take that to heart. I've had that quote in my head for probably 10 years. What some people may not know is the rest of that quote. Do you want to hear the rest of that quote?
I would love to.
I'm going to have to read it because I don't have it memorized. He said, the world will be saved by the Western woman. And then he said, some people may call me a feminist, but we need more effort to promote basic human values, human compassion, and human affection. And in that respect, females have more sensitivity for others' pain and suffering. And I think he was also alluding to this idea that as Western women, we have more resources. A lot of us already have a voice, and we're not going to get stoned if we use it. We've got money, we've got disposable income a lot in this country. So I almost feel like I have an obligation to continue to, and I think where I really want to speak out more is like this, to like kind of get it into women's heads that, man, I think it's Oprah Winfrey who said, if we were lucky enough to be born in this country, you could have been born somewhere else where you couldn't even be on the internet, then we have an obligation to stand up for whatever is important to us. And I'm not talking about everybody's not going to be in the street waving a sign. It's about that idea of how do I do it individually for me? Did I answer your question?
Yes. Yeah. I think you answered the question and more. And so I'm going to ask our listeners, those of y'all who are here, I invite you to share your ideas about how you want to be seen and heard more, and what you're feeling as you hear Ginny like call us, like she's ringing the bell and saying, women, Western women, we can speak up and we're not going to be stoned. And if you're at all aware, you know that on some places on this planet, women are still not allowed to speak up. Crazy as that sounds, we have a freedom that others don't. So how do you feel as you're hearing Ginny speak to this? So I want to hear what you have to say about that. And of course, feel free to say anything that you love about Ginny, because I love for Ginny to be loved. And so this is our time to like love on Ginny.
It is. Thank you. I'll take it. I'll take every bit of it.
Good. So a big hug is coming over the internet to you. All right, my friend. So here's another question. We've known each other for around 19 years. I know you want to make it shorter or longer. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's 19. And you've been on the planet for over 6 decades, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I've seen you in the past few months get more fired up about women being seen and heard, and for you to shine the light and provide on them and give them opportunities more in the last few months than I've seen in the last 19 years. That's not to say that you haven't been giving those opportunities for 19 years, 20 years more, because you have been. But something I see has shifted. Now, do you think that shift is coming from something that's happening on the planet, like you were just speaking to a bit, or do you feel like it's more about something that's happening inside of you?
I think it's probably both, a combination of both. And, the mission of my company has been for at least 10 years to connect women around the world to their gifts, their purpose, and each other. And that's a pretty cool mission. And yet something it's just been the last 3 to 6 months, maybe, something had kind of kicked in that said it's bigger than that. It's about more than connection. I mean, the connections are great, but then what? And so I just had this idea that I'm supposed to like be a huge lighthouse or something. And it's not about shining and bringing women to something. It's about shining it on them. Lighthouses actually guide us in. It's not that kind of lighthouse. It's about shining it out. I can see the boat now.
Spotlight. It's more like
spotlight. That's it. Exactly. It's more of a
spotlight. You're holding the spotlight and going, oh, look at that one.
Exactly.
Look at that one.
Yes. And to me, that's important because I think there are so many women who are so uncomfortable with that. And I want to help them be more comfortable. And I want to also clarify, you and I love to be on the stage speaking, but not everybody wants to be on a stage of 3,000 or more people, speaking to all those people, influencing and inspiring people. It can be something like having a greater influence over your daughter and guiding her in a certain direction. But you can't do that until you're clear with yourself and who you are, and that you're comfortable doing that. It could be a dialogue at work. It doesn't, I want women to realize that not everybody has to be out there taking a stand in a huge way, being seen on television, carrying a sign, or being famous. It's about your corner of the world. Where can you make that difference and do it in your unique way? Or otherwise you won't do it because it'll be too darn scary, I think. Yeah.
So what have you seen women do if they're not being seen and heard, whether it's on the stage or in their corner of the world? What are they doing?
Well, let's go back to why I started this group in the first place 20 years ago. I had, I'm not going to go into the whole backstory, but I had thrown a party at my house for all these women I knew. I'd met some great women over the course of a year. I knew they knew great women. I sent out an invitation, handwritten. It was 21 years ago, so it was really before the internet was big yet. And I just said, show up at my house, bring a friend, bring food. And I did that 4 times that year. I did it every quarter. And I observed 2 really important things. One is that women were connecting in a way I had never connected with women, especially in the corporate arena, which was pretty cool. There was a lot of authenticity and deep sharing and just getting to know each other that was going on. The other thing that wasn't so cool is that I gave everybody an opportunity to introduce themselves. And there were women who had such a difficult time doing that. Some of them had businesses, and anything from couldn't stand up tall, couldn't make eye contact, use those little girl voices, as little because they weren't used to didn't want to be seen and heard. And some of them, like I said, had a business and needed to be able to talk about, I'm good at this. Mm-hmm. And so at first it saddened me. And then I think it kind of pissed me off because I started thinking, not at them really, but I started thinking somebody has sold these women a bill of goods. Somebody has told them who they are and they bought it. What will happen if I take this out of my house, move into another arena, and give women a chance to show up and practice being who they really are?
And you started that.
Yeah, that was the whole, and that's all I knew. I had no idea what I was doing. Just bring women together and let it kind of evolve organically, I guess. And so I think what I saw them doing was not being proud of who they are, of not being able to be vocal about being good at something. Because I tell you, when somebody reads my bio, especially when it's a really nice long one and I'm getting ready to go up, or even just now, I kind of go, whoa, that's me they're talking about. But there was a time when I wouldn't have even written a bio like that. It would have been toned down. It would have been a little more like non-bragging, because I heard that a lot growing. Stop bragging, Jenny. My mother had this idea. She actually said this to me. And I did still do some I still did some stuff like that in my teen years, but I would always step back. But she said, when you brag, even if you're good at something, when you talk about it, other people may feel bad because they're not good at it. And so again,
I want to make people feel bad. Yeah,
I want to make people feel bad. That's more important than me feeling good about me,
That's like the difference, I think, between the male training and the female training. Females are taught, don't make anybody feel bad, make everybody feel good. And guys are like, yeah, brag about yourself, put yourself out there, be the hot shot. At least that's what my little interpretation is.
I never saw little boys getting called down for being too something, behave, stop being so big, stop being so bold, but little girls did. And it's a generational thing. And I think it's shifting and changing. But, we have to, and I especially want to speak to those women over 50 and up who are still living in that world, who are, still afraid, because what do you have to lose, really? A friend or two, maybe?
Right, exactly. So I want to speak to all of our listeners, whether you're watching this live with us now, or you watch the replay, or you watch it on YouTube, comment, tell us how old you are. Tell us what your experience was growing up. Were you encouraged to speak up, or did you get that message of it's not okay, you don't want to brag, or some other way, that you experienced not being encouraged to be heard and be seen? And if it started to shift for you, when did it start to shift? I mean, I feel like I'm still learning, even though I do love to be on the stage. I'm I post in the group on Saturdays. Jenny does a post, you do a post about being proud, and I've made a commitment. I'm going to stick to it for the rest of this year to post in there about something I'm proud of, because it's not something I feel regularly. I do
Mhm.
not inhabit to feel proud, as if being proud of myself or my work or something I've done. It's not that it's wrong. It's just I'm not in practice to bring it forth, to feel
Mhm.
proud of myself.
Yeah.
Oops. So anyway, I appreciate the opportunity that you have given me, all the opportunities that you've given me because of the On Purpose Woman community. So friends, let me say this: if you're not an official paid member of the On Purpose Woman community, then join us. Go to onpurposewomancommunity.com. Click, I think it's on the right corner, join. Is that correct, Jenny? Yeah, there's different levels of membership. And especially if you have a business, my friends, right now, wherever you are on the planet, there are opportunities throughout the month to come to a gathering, and there's either 5 minutes where you can speak about your business. You can sign up if you're a business member or an online member, or 3 minutes in two of the meetings. So practice, come use this amazing community to practice speaking up. So get an ad in the magazine and then sign up for one of these interviews and practice. I'm on it. I'm on fire. Let's do this. Let's be good at this, Jenny. So, so besides all of that, what advice do you have for women to be seen and heard, whether it's with their business or personal? And why don't we break that down?
Mhm.
Choose which one you want to talk about first in terms of suggestions and advice.
Okay. Well, I'll talk about both of them together for a minute because this applies to both your personal and your professional life, whether you have a business or you're in a career or you're in between, you're thinking about what you're going to do next, is to do some soul searching, do some quiet time and start to be clear with yourself about what is really yours to do. Because I don't want to just go out there and be seen for any reason. I wouldn't want to do this interview if we were going to talk about knitting. For one thing, I don't knit, but or just, why wouldn't I want to talk about something that I'm passionate about, that I feel good about, and that is inspiring me when I do it, and is also fulfilling what I believe is at least some of my purpose. So get clear. It's not just about being seen for being seen sake. I mean, Girls Gone Wild, those girls got seen, right?
There you go.
And if that's the way you want to be seen, I'm not putting that down, but you might want to be a bit tactical about it, about how you do it. So I think that's a real step too. But I also encourage, if you've been kind of in that space for a long time of, I wish I'd said that, ooh, start speaking up, and don't even filter yourself at first. Do it with people who are safe to practice. Call a friend and say, I just want to vent. Do you know what so and so did? Because a lot of women won't even do that. They'll hold it in. And I
Mm.
think the more comfortable we are with letting and what we would maybe call negative emotions, I don't believe they are, but to be seen, letting that go with trusted people, better it feels. And that's still practice for being seen and heard. And then you can use that practice to be seen and heard where you're still having the same feelings, but you can do it without the anger or without the emotion that might not serve you if you're looking to get a result. I'm
Mhm.
just like going, I just don't think I've ever said that out loud before. Was that coherent?
Well, what I got is that in your experience, don't, some women hold their emotions in and don't share them with anybody
Hmm.
if there's something that happens. So your suggestion is, especially for beginners and maybe everybody, to get a trusted friend to vent. And then once that venting has happened, than in the situation where it matters, whether it's, and you didn't say this, but whether it's one-on-one with a particular person,
Mhm.
or you're upset about something that happened on the political arena these days, or whatever. If you vented, you're not, most likely your words are going to come across in a more coherent way, so they're received better. That's what I
Mhm.
got out of what you said.
Thank you. That's what I meant, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it also, I think we feel better when we come from this grounded place of this is my belief, this is my opinion, rather than this kind of angry place that says, you're wrong for doing that. That usually doesn't have, there's no dialogue attached to that. It's just like slinging arrows back and forth. So I think that's a great place to start, and to just to know that nothing you feel is wrong. I heard a lot when I was especially real young, you're too sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
I would cry at commercials as a little girl because they would touch my heart. Oh, you're just so sensitive, Ginny. And so I think we shut those pieces down of ourselves too. It's not just the boldness we shut down, we can shut down the softness and be kind of flat. And especially if you're in the corporate world in a certain environment, you can't be too feminine. And that's femininity when you cry, they think, or when you are touched by an emotion. So, yeah, I'll stop there.
So that's interesting. I still cry at commercials, but um, what about? But we don't need to
I
talk
do
about
too. I
me.
do too.
What advice do you have for those of us who are entrepreneurs and or writers, and we want our message to get out to more people? We want to be seen and heard more, uh, and I mean, because we're all at different, those of us who want that, we're at different stages. Some are just getting started and still really scared. Some of us have been doing it for a while and uncertain, and some of us are trying to figure out how to be seen more.
Mhm.
So, do you have any advice for us?
Yeah, I think if you're really just stepping into that, you have let's use coaching as an example because coaches, you do a lot of online work, but you have to be seen to get a client. And sending out an email, even if you send out an email every day, well, if you did that, you'd probably annoy a lot of people. But just sending out an email and hoping somebody gets back to you, just doesn't work. People need to see you in action. They need to know, like, and trust you. And it takes a lot of touches for that. So, I get annoyed in a really loving way when, a Zoom call, a woman doesn't want to be on camera because she's having a bad hair day. I'm thinking, we're all women here. Practice being seen in what you think is imperfection.
Mm,
And granted, I don't want to be seen if I'm having a bad hair day, but I'll do it rather than not be on camera. You
mm,
know, I had a meeting with Amanda this morning at 8 o'clock, and I hadn't even combed my hair. No makeup, nothing. And we were just there talking about some stuff on camera because it works better to be seen and
mhm,
heard if you can be seen and heard.
mm,
And so just look at those excuses that you make to not be seen. Or are you waiting for the perfect something? Oh, gee, when I lose 10 pounds and my face isn't so fat, I'll do a Facebook Live then. Or when I practice my message more and get it down, then I'll show myself on a Facebook Live or do a video for my website. But practicing and getting it down is not, we didn't practice this. And that's not what people want to see. They want to see you, and they want to see you in all your authenticity and all your imperfections. So it's so simple to just say, just do something. But yet, if there's fear gripping you, I think you're going to have to do some inner work as well. There's a lot of people out there to help with that.
mm,
But show up in a safe place like a Connections Over Coffee online gathering where you can practice even for 30 seconds just saying who you are
mm,
with women who want you to be okay,
mm.
you know. Um, but you got to do something. That's the thing. And so think about what you're putting off and why. What are those excuses? And they're probably pretty bogus excuses.
Mhm.
And if you heard your friend do that, if your friend said what you're saying, what would you say to your friend?
Mhm. Right. Yes. So, it's interesting because I keep saying I need to do more Facebook Lives. I need to do more Facebook Lives. I'm not afraid of doing Facebook Lives. Obviously, I have fun doing them, It's like I keep putting it off and putting it off. So I think I need to have a conversation with myself about this and see what's going on. And I love your advice to take some time to soul search and look at what's mine to do. I actually have a list in one of my folders that I'm growing about what are the topics I want to talk about, what matters to me. But yeah. So okay. So I want to do more Facebook Lives, Ginny. Do you just
Okay.
does your advice, my friend, just do it? Is that your advice? Just do it. Just do it.
Or
Yeah, because
maybe
I
ask
wanted.
yourself, and you know this, just say to yourself, why am I not?
Why am I not doing
What are
my
your
Facebook Live?
excuses? What are you telling yourself?
Well, I'll tell you right now because this is other people are going to have this experience, and you can just advise me right now, and then we're going to talk about what you just talked about, connections over coffee. But I want them to be perfect, so I want to be really clear what my topic is. I want my topic to be good for my clients. I want to make them only 2 minutes, so I got to practice, which means I got to get really clear about what I'm going to say, and that's going to take me half an hour. And then I've got to, well, no, then I've got to practice it. That's going to take an hour or two, all for 2 minutes. I mean, who cares?
I'm exhausted.
Exactly. But okay, so I'm talking myself out of it. So if I just said, all right, here's my topic, just get on there and talk. And who cares if anybody likes it or not? I mean, it's not perfect though. So,
What's
oh,
your
I can
purpose in doing a Facebook Live? Why do you want to do one?
say that again.
Why do you want to do a Facebook Live?
Well, to build my audience and help people know, like, and trust me and take the next step with me. So if it's all rambling, then they're not going to listen. But okay. So you're not going to tell me anything else. All right.
Well, you may want to go down to that next level and say what's really going on, because I don't see you as the person who's concerned about rambling, or because I'm not that you ramble a lot in your Facebook Lives, but when you do Facebook Lives, my experience is that you're real, and you're just like you are right now. You're doing your thing, and it doesn't ever feel really practiced.
Hmm.
And maybe you do practice, but you've just practiced to the extent that you can still not say exactly what and so I don't know what the big deal is. Just do it, would you?
All right, get that whip out. Okay, well, so this has just been wonderful. So we're still here, folks. If you're here, please share what you're experiencing, hearing Jenny's wisdom. Give her some love. Tell us what you think about this, what we're talking about, what your experiences are. Now we're going to take a couple minutes. I know Jenny wants to tell you all about joining the On Purpose Woman community or coming to one of the gatherings. We're online these days. There's so many opportunities. There's the magazine. Jenny, what do you want to tell people so they take the next step with us, this community that's such a great community?
Okay, well, there are so many opportunities, regardless of where you are in your life. This is, I don't work just with women entrepreneurs, but that seems to be who started showing up when I started the organization. It's for any woman who is just looking to be inspired, be excited about life, who's maybe looking for a next step and doesn't know what it is yet, or who has a business and wants to be seen and heard in a greater way. So the On Purpose Woman community, which is also called the On Purpose Woman Global Community, because we do have members and people from around the globe, which is very cool. It's about, again, more and more shining this light. So when you show up at one of our connections over coffee gatherings, you get a chance, even if you're not a member, to do a 30-second introduction. And some people say, well, I don't want to do that. Well, then stay home. Don't come, because you don't have to, but why would you show up and not want to at least tell people your name and who you are, where you live? So that's a great place to start to practice. If you are a member, and there's a free membership, which means you can come to these online gatherings, and there's a couple of other things you get to do. The magazine gets sent to you every month or every issue and that sort of thing. But there's also full business, full online memberships, as well as associate memberships for women who don't have a business. But the full business membership and the online business membership, you have opportunities, unlimited opportunities to be seen and heard. You can sign up to do a 5-minute spot or a 3-minute spot where it's all about you. And usually the women who do that, it's not a 5-minute infomercial, it's a 5-minute Here's what I'm passionate about. Here's something that'll help you in your life. Let me share some of my wisdom, and here's what I do. So it's this opportunity to again be seen and heard and known, liked, and trusted. And there's an opportunity, this isn't a benefit of membership, but I'm always looking for people to be a 20 to 30-minute speaker to get their message across, their unique message to help other women. The magazine, write for the magazine, be
And
seen in that way.
And I know too, Ginny, that you are more likely to let a member be the 20-minute presenter or get their article in the magazine than a non-member. So, which is another benefit of membership. But
Exactly.
yeah,
Always go to
so
the members first. Yeah.
yeah,
The advertising, get your business seen and heard. You can have an interview with Catherine or me and be seen like this, and then it goes on YouTube, and then a lot of people can see. You can use it however you want to use it. The ads, if you're a member, are less money, and they're already really not very expensive. I mean, they're really quite affordable, I believe. So all these different shots of being seen and heard. Now I've started something in just the last couple of weeks called Member in the Spotlight, where if you do some things like show up for meetings and you get your name in the hat, and every Friday I draw a name. This member gets seen on Facebook in 3 different places, and we're going to do a spread in the magazine. So there's just, I get really excited because it's like this is really dictating where I go from here
I'm so
with member
excited about
benefits, and yeah.
I'm so excited about your excitement about shining the light on women. I mean, it's like when you talk about it, you just like start going, yeah, this is what I'm doing now. I
Yeah.
like inside of you, I just feel the sense of purpose that I never felt when you said connecting women. It's kind of like that's just something you do
Hmm.
because you always do it. But this is like you're going, I want to do this.
This is really intentional. Yeah. And let me add, you mentioned I've been on the planet for more than 6 decades. I have a birthday this month, and I will be 69 years old. I know, a year from 70. I used to think 70 would be when I started to feel old. I'm not getting that now, maybe 85. I don't know. I bring that up because one, I don't care who knows how old I am, what my age is.
Yeah,
But I
who
want
knew?
women to know that I'm at this age, I'm planning new stuff. I'm figuring out new things. I'm not done yet. I'm not even halfway done yet. So I want to be that inspiration as well too. And there's women who are 40 who think it's too late to start something new. And so just start to pay attention to these things that are nudging you. Apparently this had been nudging me for a bit. And let me just throw this out as like an aside. We can't figure out this stuff if we don't just sit and let some stuff come in. Because I was sitting in my comfortable chaise lounge in my office, and that some of this stuff just kind of came in. It's like, oh, that's what I'm doing. That's what it's called.
Mm,
Spotlight, shining a light on women. Yeah, I've been doing that for 20 plus years, but that's not what I've been calling it.
hmm
And so it's almost like I want to put women under the microscope and let us see you.
Ooh, I like
I
that.
just made
A
that up.
little,
I just made that
yeah,
up.
yeah, under the microscope. Wow.
And I
Um,
think, Catherine, you've seen some women. I'm going to call Bonnie out. Bonnie, member Bonnie, who is signing up for featured member stuff. She was our spotlight, our first member. Bonnie, who didn't used to be front and center like that, she's not shying away. She's like, thank you.
I
Not,
know. I
oh,
remember her first online connections meeting. She was quiet, and then I think you gave her an opportunity to speak, and she did, and she stepped up to the plate. A second one she did, and by the third or fourth one, she was like, and feeling
mhm,
proud of herself and
yeah,
looking proud of herself and doing a great job. It
yeah.
was, and that's all been in less than 6 months.
Mhm.
I mean, probably like a 4 month period that she's just kind of gone, whoo,
I think so. Yeah.
yeah.
And that kind of thing translates into doing more of the work that you're here to do, and also making more money, reaching more people. If your business is all about helping people, then it's selfish to not go help people,
And to tell us about it, to be seen and be
because you've
heard, to
got to
tell
tell
us.
us about it before you can help people, right? So if you want to help more people, you got to be seen and heard, and be an example to those coming up behind you. just be bold. And it's interesting. A number of years back, I went on this kick when I was still, I think I was still doing a lot of evening meetings. It's been back. You might have even still lived up here then. I think you were. And I got on this kick of, okay, this year's going to be about women being bold. And I can't tell you how many women pushed back at that because they had an idea of what bold meant. And to some of them, bold meant obnoxious, forceful, arrogant, and it's all in how we frame it.
Mm,
I bet you're bold. There's women out there who are bold when their child's in danger or
mm,
somebody has done something to someone they love. I bet you they get bold then,
mm,
maybe a little angry bold, but it's about stepping up. What's important to you?
mhm.
So I'm just kind of tired of hearing the excuses, Catherine,
Okay, speak it,
because
sister.
we've got jobs to do here and we need to get on with it.
All right, all
Yeah.
right, all right, all right. Tired of hearing excuses. Okay, so I will send you my list of excuses every day, and you can say, no, Catherine, no, I don't want to hear anymore. Get on with it, girl. Oh my goodness. Well, Jenny, thank you so much for everything that you bring, for this interview, for your gift in my life. You are so important to me, and I have so enjoyed our last approximately 3 years, I think, of collaboration and the
Yeah.
19 years of knowing you and all that you have shared. And I love, love, love that you're just starting today again, and you're going to keep going and be a role model for all of us. You really are. You're a blessing to me, and I know you're a blessing to so many other people. So thank you for letting me shine the light on you, and I feel really blessed. And so everyone, please share your comments below, and or wherever you see this, and tell us, what came up for you hearing Jenny's wisdom. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining those of you who are listening to the Real Women, Real Purpose Talk Show. We were live in the On Purpose Women Global community. And Ginny, is there another interview coming up soon? Are you remembering when the next one is?
Yes, next week I'm doing two. On Tuesday, I'll be interviewing Maria Johnson Darby, who is the CFO of the Wise and Well Center. It's a Baltimore-based organization, but they do a lot of online things. And we're going to talk about being wise and well over 50. And so I say listen regardless of your age, because if you start at 30 and 40, you'll be really, really there when you're 50, right? And then on Thursday, I'll be talking with somebody who's been a friend of ours for a lot of years, Julia Mattis, a very successful real estate agent. She's going to be talking about wisdom learned from 31 years in business.
Mm,
So, or lessons learned. It's one of those wisdom and lessons. So, if you have a business or thinking about having a business, you want to listen to what Julia, because I'm sure we'll be talking about things that worked and things that didn't work and roadblocks and successes and all of that. So, Tuesday
yeah,
and Thursday, right here in the On Purpose Woman Global Community, 2 o'clock
awesome.
Eastern.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you. I didn't mean to speak over you, my
Okay.
friend. To jump in there. I want to be seen and be heard. So if you would like, if you would like a list of any of the other on Real Women, Real Purpose talk show topics, go to the On Purpose Woman magazine and flip through it. It's an online magazine. To see it, go to onpurposewomanmagazine.com and read all the articles if you want to, but definitely for a list of the topics. And you can also go to our YouTube channel and you can see all of the interviews that have been done up until now. We just started a couple of months ago and we're growing that YouTube channel. We'd love for you to subscribe, and that way you'll get notified. I had no idea how subscriptions work, but on my phone, on the channels that I'm subscribed to, I get a little notice that says, here's a new video. So you will find out when our videos get there if you like YouTube. And please watch some of the other ones. The topics are right there. We've got great topics, great real women sharing their experiences about their purpose and what they're doing on the planet. So my friends, thank you so much. This video will be up in a couple of days, within 48 hours, in the YouTube channel. And if you liked it, you can get that link and share it with your friends. And definitely tell all of your women friends about the On Purpose Woman global community. Invite them to join us so we can keep spreading the word and to hear it, letting ourselves be seen and our voices heard, and connecting with more women who are cool, because all the women in the On Purpose Woman community are cool. Yes.
Yes, they are.
All right, everybody. See you next time.